Oh, we are back at the sacred space that we came to the first day that we got to Tennessee. I love this place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Bagheera. So I'm gonna just release some shit. This isn't gonna be as much of a like me trying to teach people video as it is gonna be me doing therapy. Hey, I had 33 minutes and 22 seconds left of space on the camera. Yeah, I'm just gonna do some therapy. I was just talking to myself about alcohol, as in like talking to someone else. I was kind of like, I don't know, in a weird way defending the fact that I'm not like, I don't know, a heavyweight as far as drinking alcohol goes. Well, okay, so I'll be more technical. I was talking to Luke Thomas in my head, who is an MMA journalist slash like podcast YouTube personality guy. And I'm going to teach him about meditation and prayer and change his life. He has a beautiful daughter and a beautiful wife, I'm sure. And yeah, and he actually has we got a bunch of spiritual connections. But he's a like no one's gonna drink more alcohol than me kind of guy. I don't know. Like he's a power lifter kind of. He's a weird dude. He's like really smart, but doesn't have like spiritual wisdom in the sense of like, I don't know. I don't need to get into it, but I was talking to him in my head about like, I was kind of saying the thing with me about alcohol is like, we do this shit, anything like that that takes us out of sobriety, anything that affects our state of consciousness. Ideally, as a grown-up, as someone who is mature enough to be able to handle these kind of things, we do it in great moderation, and the intention should be to celebrate a job well done. When we've been working hard for a week or two and we've been really getting all our stuff done and leveling up in life and living to the absolute highest potential that we can live to as individuals and as members of a team, when we've been working to raise the vibration of everyone that we're in the same environment as, I mean, we're all on Earth. I drank one beer already. So I took a hit from the one hitter before I left the food store and drove the last mile. So yeah, that's why I'm stumbling a little bit over my words. But anyways, the point, if you're gonna do it, should be now and then we relieve some stress. We spend some quality time with God in devotion. We spend some quality time, because it is different. Like, it's like the idea of like, the sober idea of like, I don't need that in order to be happy. Or the idea of like one of my yoga teachers from my island, she posted something about like something negative about how there's kind of new age yoga practices where there's like people will drink wine together and do yoga, or people will do like just like mixing alcohol is a drug, so mixing drugs with yoga. And the perspective was kind of judgmental and negative, because I think kind of like the dogmatic, like even with yoga you can get traditionalists and kind of purist and all that. But the reality is, in order to be a great teacher, you have to be able to relate to anyone that you would consider a student. And if you look down on anyone who chooses not to be sober 100% of the time for their whole life, then you're looking down on like 99% of people. Like, it's a small group of people who don't at least have a phase in their life where they're not sober. So it's obvious for me. It's like, I think with the traditions, with the rules or whatever, I think it makes sense for like getting to that final place of peace. I think it's true at the end of the day that you don't want to feel. The problem is when you feel like you need something in order to be your happiest. Hey buddy, can I take that? That's making me uncomfortable just looking at you walking around like this. Yeah, my dude. He's a good boy. But it's like the purpose of life is to be happy. We forget when we're trying to be disciplined, we're trying to reach our highest potential. We're trying to be good examples, good leaders. We forget that the purpose of life, and really like in order to be, you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. In order to be our best self, we need to be our happiest, because when we're in our happiest state, it's when we're our closest to God. It's when we feel the most peace. It's when we feel the strongest connection to truth. Is when we're happy. When we're doing what we love. I love you. So I'm in this weird situation right now where I live with my parents since quarantine started. You're crazy! Where's he going? I'm in this weird situation since quarantine started where I'm living with my parents, but it's weird. I turned 21 and like the thought of, oh, I can buy alcohol now, it wasn't even like a thing with me. And then when I got this job, I just started, it became like a regular thing of like, oh yeah, I can get drunk and high. And like, I don't get like drunk because I only drink so that I can smoke and have the, like, enjoy that, like the 1-2 punch or whatever. So it's not like I drink a lot. I'll drink like half or three quarters of one of those little box wine kind of things. And then I'll smoke and I'll like do pull-ups. I'm also doing something healthy. But I have this problem with food. My relationship with food when I'm fucked up is it's not a strong display of self-control. And I don't feel like my best self when I'm especially when I'm at the end of a meal that I got fucked up before starting. But the problem is my discipline. It's not any of these things. And constantly needing to change my consciousness, that's part of the discipline. Because right now, it's like with any habit that you have in life, if I'm saying that I want to stop and I haven't stopped, then that's a problem. You have to take care of that. And then you can reassess everything in your life. But the problem is a lack of discipline. Like, the answer to everything is meditate more, pray for more discipline, meditate more. Yes. But I'm in this weird situation where it's like, I don't know, my life has been so fucking nuts. My life has been so crazy and so extraordinary and so impossible for anyone to understand or to even try to relate to that are in my parents' position, where they're like my dad drank and probably did. I wouldn't be surprised if he did coke. I'm sure he smoked weed when he was a kid. He was just like, before he went to, I think he went to college and then he went to seminary after. When he was in college, he kind of was off the rails, as you would expect someone to that had like fucking 3 or 4 stepdads. But it's completely different. Like, even smoking weed, if you're always drinking and being like not living in with the intention of love and light and evolution and purity, if you're not living with that intention and you're doing these things, then it's completely different. But I was over here like as a 19-year-old doing acid and doing yoga for hours without stopping, and like understanding that I can change the whole fucking world and I can end all this bullshit, and now all these problems are easily solvable if we just all get our shit together. But it's been such a weird process trying to figure out, like, okay, well, how do I make a career trusting my heart, but figuring out a way to not just be like some homeless fucking like loser, you know? Like, I had this idea at a certain point of like, I would rather be homeless than not do what I feel like I need to do in life. But that's not realistic, like, because ultimately, no matter what you tell yourself about that perspective, if you're homeless, it means that you're not working hard enough. Because it's easy to make enough money in this world as long as you're not like just, I don't know, like, so as long as you don't for some reason have brain damage or some kind of like lack of intelligence. It's not difficult in this world to be able to make enough to support yourself, to not be dependent on anyone. But yeah, it's been a weird transition. It's been a weird journey trying to get to the point where, I don't know, I'm actually grounded in like, in my plan, in my preparation, in like how I'm going to change the world. Because once I realized I could change the world, and it was like, all right, well, I guess I have a choice. Do I want to bitch out, or do I want to do everything that I can to fulfill my highest calling? But they didn't understand that. And how could they? They didn't have any of the experiences that I had. They didn't go to the fucking center of the universe. I love you. Yeah, I don't know. This shit has been weird, but it's been so incredible and beautiful, but like so painful and traumatic at the same time. So I'm at this point right now where I'm finally feeling healed enough to be grounded in who I am and my identity as a yoga teacher. I'm here to teach people about yoga. And if I do that to the best of my ability, I never have to worry about anything ever for the rest of my life.